I've just finished watching an interesting game called Agony, and it's piqued my interest. Did you guys know about this game? Because I sure as hell didn't. Which is surprising because apparently this is a survival horror game, and looking at the trailer, it looks like a survival horror game. I'm kind of disappointed in myself actually for not knowing this. Apparently there's been some footage of this game 2 months prior to this date, maybe even more so. I really don't know. This really is new to me. So let's talk about it. Now I'm going to start actually by reading this little passage here. It's a description of the game. Agony is a first-person survival horror game currently in development. Players will begin their journey as a tormented soul within the depths of hell, without any memories about his past. The special ability to control people on their path and even possess simple-minded demons gives the player the necessary measures to survive in the extreme conditions they are in. By exploring hostile environments and interacting with the other weary souls of the hellscape, the hero will soon understand that there is only one way to escape from hell, and it will require a meeting of the mystical Red Goddess. This is survival horror, and it's coming out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One and PC in 2017 some point. I don't know when. I don't think anyone does. So let's talk about this. First of all, the company. What are they called? I've got their name here. Mad Mind Studio. I have never heard of these guys. I don't know if they've made anything before, but if this is their first game, then props to them, because it's, you know, it says on the trailer, you know, it's a work in progress, but it looks like they're on the right tracks there, so props to them indeed. Now, the first thing that you hear in this gameplay trailer is the sound of bones and the sound of despair. You're literally walking on bones, whether it's actual skeletons, like skeletal structures, or bones from the floor, structured together so you can stand on them. And the sound effects is quite good. It's quite good. This looks like, I mean, I don't know, who knows at this point, but it could be the soundtrack throughout the whole game. Will that get annoying? I don't know. But I think it's there, if it is throughout the whole game, or at least the majority of it, to maintain that tension. So that's a good thing. You need that tension to be maintained in any horror survival game. And the sounds of despair as well. This game reminds me a little bit of Dante's Inferno, not just because it's in hell, but because of how it looks, the landscape, the architecture, the level design. I really like Dante's Inferno, and a lot of people give it slack because they say it's a carbon copy of God of War, and I can kind of see where they're coming from. But I never played God of War. I don't know what you have to say to that. I never owned a PS3. I've got a PS4 now. But Dante's Inferno, I guess, was my version of God of War, and I really, really enjoyed playing that game. And this leads me on to the actual theme of hell. I love the theme of hell. I was brought up in a Catholic school, and I was made to read the Bible, pretty much all of it. And the subject matter always fascinated me. I also listen to metal, death metal, you know, black metal, that kind of thing. So it's a common subject within that genre. But the subject of hell is just a very interesting one, because no one knows what hell looks like. Well, they should go to Iraq, I guess. That isn't a, you know, if you're from Iraq, you know, and you're watching this, I apologise. But or let's do one better. Newcastle. There we go. That's a more appropriate way. Newcastle. You know, but you know, really seriously now, you know, it's a fascinating subject matter, and yeah, it always has been for me. I did have a question if this was hell, because at one point in the trailer near the end, it says that they're going to take you on a trip into madness, and I thought, is this just going on through someone's head? But apparently it is hell, and there's some interesting things about this gameplay trailer. At one point in the walls, they look really organic, so it kind of made me think at first, are you inside something? And then I kind of thought, well, maybe that's a bit too easy, maybe it's just an effect. But the effect of the walls themselves was pretty cool. You hear them squelch as well, that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah, in terms of the whole level design, it's looking really good as well. The architecture is looking great. There's some statues that you see, you know, they just look interesting to like kind of stop by on your journey and go, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. You know, pretty dark, pretty interesting. And then at one point, you've got a torch as well, and your character throws it, gets another one, I think, at this point. Or previously to that, he burns an area, and then you're able to get through. So it looks like you're going to use this torch to go through certain areas, maybe to collect hidden extras. Because at one point, if I digress a little second here, you pick up something like an urn or a statue, and it says there, collect it. And the guy collects it, and you know, he looks at it, and then he kind of goes, boop, chucks it, and then puts it back, which I kind of thought was a bit of a mood killer. You're in hell, so if that was you, and you're going around and you see something there, I know it's a game, guys, you know what I mean, but you know, you're like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? Ooh, collectible, yeah, I love that. Ooh, fucking hell. And then you even hear the guy like, sounds like I'm having an orgasm or something, but you know what I'm saying, it's kind of a mood killer. But then I kind of thought maybe that's a way for the creators of the game to subconsciously put you at ease. You know, it's like, it's very tense, and it's kind of similar to Metal Gear Solid, what Kojima said, in terms of the comedic aspect in places, you know, like the cardboard box, putting posters on the cardboard box, this, that and the other, because of the themes that were quite serious, which I kind of thought was you know, a bit of a lie in a way. But anyway, that's a different story. It's just a way to ease the tension, you know, which is fine, because if I play a survival horror game, I need a break, you know what I mean? I just need a break. So, yeah, I kind of, you know, I can kind of forgive that in a way. I don't think he even needs forgiving. And now this leads me to, once he's actually burned that area, there's this demon that kind of sounds like a velociraptor, and the guy's like, oh shit, better run away. And as you would, obviously. And he throws his torch down, and he kind of hides in the dark, not too far from it. And the demon comes and stops by the torch. So does this mean that these demons, or that specific demon, can only, you know, see in the light, cannot see in the dark? Because he wasn't too far away from that demon. With breasts, by the way, which is always a nice effect. That's another thing I like about Hell. The flesh, as it were. And they also had that in Dante's Inferno and God of War as well. But anything like with nudity in a game, I'm all for. So, you know what I mean? I'm a pervert, I don't care. I like the human body, you know what I mean? As long as it's a female body, then I'm all good for it. But yeah, it just begged me to wonder, you know, is that like a hint or something like that? But the design of that actual demon was pretty cool, you know, and I'm looking forward to seeing other creations that come our way. And even near the end of the trailer, you just see like, you see a whole host of shit, do you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to that. I just really like the theme. The graphics are looking nice. Again, this is a work in progress, but the graphics are looking really nice at this point. And if it is a work in progress and it's released some point next year, then it can only get better, right? We'll see. Let's not jump to conclusions. I never just go into something and say, yeah, brilliant, let's do it. I always have my guard up. But, you know, I hope that these guys, these Madmind Studio guys, are going to stick to their word on this game. The aspect of survival horror is a tricky one, because it's hard to pull off effectively. Some horror games require you to read and read and read. What I'm really getting at there is Daylight. I will never forget that game, Daylight. Although it was quite scary in some places, and I did do a live stream of it when near about the time it came out, and you know, it was okay, but reading and reading and reading in a game really puts me off. So I hope if they do any kind of reading in this game, that it's minimum, short, sweet, and effective, okay? Resident Evil pulled that off. And when I say Resident Evil, I mean Resident Evil, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and Code Veronica as the main games. So here's hoping for minimal reading at least. Or if it is long reading, it better be interesting and engaging. Now the last thing I want to talk about is mechanics. I've already talked about the fact that you can throw your torch away which might act as a distraction, like in Jurassic Park with the T-Rex. But there's something else that I noticed, and it might not come into fruition, it might just be me. But at one point in the gameplay trailer, you see the character come up against the wall, and you see his hand touch the wall like that, which said to me, is there going to be a peek mechanic? Are you going to be able to actually peek around, see if the coast is clear? If you're running away from something and hiding, are you going to be able to have that function? You don't really see the guy run, crouch or jump, but I doubt that they would not include those functions, because if you're looking at a survival horror game, then those three functions are pretty much a given. And the last thing actually is that during the gameplay trailer you see the guy kind of, you know, throw his torch around like that, which says to me you've got to be able to fight off demons, creatures, whatever. So you do get some level of combat in here. I doubt there's going to be guns. There better not be guns. There isn't going to be guns, but if there is, it will piss me off. There won't be any guns. There better not be any guns in this game. I just want a stick with some fire on it, and I just want to run away from shit. That's it. So that's my reaction, my thoughts for the Agony gameplay trailer of Gamescom, and actually last of all, the title, Agony. I like it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Sound off down below what you think of this game. Is it going to be something like Outlast? I don't really think it is. I think it's going to be its own game. You know, when you look at Resident Evil 7, people immediately went to Outlast, PT, and even Condemned. But I think this game's going to hold its own. That's where I see this game going. But let me know what your thoughts are in regards to this game. I think it's going to be an interesting one, and it's piqued my interest for sure. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you for the next video.